What's going on, all you Kaiju Movie Maniacs? Phat Samurai Guys here with Lady Phat Blood, and we just got out of the theater of seeing Godzilla King of the motherfucking monsters. If you've been keeping up with our channel and our videos, I'm sure you've seen by now our epic trailer reactions, where we didn't mean for them to be epic. That's just how we are. We're very honest on the channel, and we're big, huge Godzilla Kaiju fans, and we just reacted naturally. So a lot of you out there really liked it a lot. So thank you for watching and sharing the videos. So now we're here though. And before we get into it, before we get into the negatives and the positives, I'm just gonna say this. I have no idea what she's about to say. I have no idea. I'm actually kind of freaking out and curious at the same time, because while we were watching the movie, she wasn't really reacting to anything, and she was very quiet and very still. That's concerning. That means the wheels are turning, and she may still be enjoying the film, because she was like that with Avengers Endgame. If you watch our spoiler review of Avengers Endgame, she was very quiet, still, watched the movie, and then, you know, she still enjoyed it, but she had issues. So I'm kind of sensing that here. So I have no idea. I couldn't handle it on the way to the car. Like, I was like, come on, you gotta tell me the issues. And I was throwing them out there. Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? And she's like, it's none of that. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm just curious. We're always honest. We're always honest, okay? So we do love Godzilla. Just watch our reaction videos. We just recently watched pretty much all of the films. You've watched all of them recently, just for fun.
Except for 98, because that one does not count.
Right, the Matthew Broderick, that's a lot of fish one. So, before we get into the plot, this is a spoiler review, by the way. So, before we get into spoilers, did you enjoy the movie? Just to let them know.
Yes.
Okay, so she did enjoy the film. I did enjoy the movie. So what we'll do is I'll put a little timestamp here so you guys could forward to avoid spoilers and hear the rating of the film that we give the movie. But if you want to hang out and chill with us and hear spoilers, then go ahead and grab something to drink and chill with us. But let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm scared. I'm scared. Now, should we talk, before you get into it, should we talk about all of the negativity that a lot of the negative reviews that we've kind of bounced off of? Because not reading reviews in detail, but we've kind of seen the thumbnails. I've
literally only seen headlines, which could either be like genuine opinion pieces about what this film is, or it could be clickbait. It's probably not. It's probably people who are just watching this as an outsider. Right.
They're not a kaiju fan. They're not a Godzilla fan.
Or I would like, I would say people who may think they know what a Godzilla film is. Right. But probably haven't watched all of them lately. Okay, now when I say I've watched all of them recently, I mean I watched all of them. Almost in order. Okay, I started with Godzilla Raids Again, which is the second film. And I worked my way up through the Showa series. I went a little out of order in the Heisei, and then I went back, finished the Showa, finished up the Heisei, and then went straight into the Millennium, watched those completely in order.
And then you did go back to watch Gojira.
I did go back and watch 1954 because I hadn't seen it in a very long time. And then we finally saw Shin Godzilla. So we saw everything. And I had watched 2014 about a month ago or so. So I'm not going to focus on the negativity, because my opinion, Godzilla started out as a very serious, somber message film, and I just want to,
at least the first two movies.
No, I'm just, this is what I'm getting at, and we're going to release another video.
Yes, we are.
In a couple of days. Which is my personal top 10, and we're just gonna bounce at each other,
top 10 list,
what we've been enjoying from the franchise. I just want to point out that in 1954, Gojira came out, which was an allegory for the A-bombs that dropped in World War II, the rise of nuclear power and the threat of nuclear annihilation, all of that. A country dealing with having 2 A-bombs dropped on them. Among other things, and 2 films later, Godzilla was fighting King Kong.
Yeah. The third film already.
Listen to what I just said.
Yeah.
in the third movie of the Godzilla franchise already, Godzilla was fighting King Kong.
Yes.
And then right after that, we were given Mothra. Mm-hmm. And then it all just spiraled out of control in a beautiful, glorious pit of beautifulness. Okay. And I don't think people realize how goofy and fantastical it got as quickly as it got. Once Mothra was introduced into the mix, which Mothra had her own film, and then a couple years later, in 1961, she had her own film, and then in 1964, they paired her up with Zilla. They were fighting against each other already. And once she showed up, that was when it all really, really went into fantasy realm. You had they were called the Peanuts, and they were eventually called the Cosmos, and then they were called the Fairies. I call them Fairies for shorthand. It's just easier for me to call them that.
The two little twins.
The twins that would sing to Mothra. Okay. The whole reason the first Mothra movie existed was because the twins. Okay?
Right. But we're not getting in review.
No. My point is that if you haven't watched any film in the Godzilla franchise recently, aside from 54, 84, or 2016, so that is Gojira, The Return of Godzilla, 1984, and Shin Godzilla, 2016. If those are the only 3 kaiju movies in the Godzilla franchise,
the 2014 one,
perhaps, then you just don't know how ridiculous these movies can get.
Yeah.
Having said that, I had absolutely no problem with the plot in this movie. This plot, this story, even the characters, was straight out of some of Toho's most ridiculous ham-fisted message movies. I want to point out Godzilla vs. Hedorah, aka the smog monster.
The smog monster.
Okay.
I didn't even mention that in here.
This has been going on for years.
We're causing the smog. The humans are destroying the planet.
You know, the whole plot is that this lady is convinced that the Titans are here to bring balance to the planet, even if it means destroying a whole bunch of humans, because we are the disease. We are an infection on the Earth. Okay? That is straight out of a Toho Godzilla film. So, the paper-thin characters, I never go see a Godzilla film for the plot and the characters.
No.
Let me just tell you something. In the 30-plus films that this franchise has had, the most compelling character I can cite to you by name is Dr. Serizawa, not Ken Watanabe Serizawa, who is the character. That's his name. Okay. In name only, the original Dr. Serizawa in 1954's Gojira, he was the one with the eye patch. He was the one that created the oxygen destroyer and destroyed Godzilla. Spoilers. He was literally the most compelling character that I can cite to you in 30 films.
Yeah.
Okay? He was the most... He had the most to add as a character. He had the most to lose as a character. He was kind of the most compelling as a character. And you only saw him for about 15 minutes in that movie. Okay? So I don't come for the humans.
No.
The humans are a vehicle for us to follow the monsters around. Now, one of my problems with 2014's Godzilla was it was almost like they were ashamed they were making a kaiju movie because they focused so much on the humans that every time there was a beginning of a battle between Godzilla and one of the Muto, they would cut away to the humans and what they were dealing with. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So, having said all of that, it wasn't the characters, it was not the plot, it was not the story.
It's not what people are already complaining about.
And that's not what my issue was, because like
people are giving this movie from like we said, we haven't read reviews, but we're seeing the headlines. The headlines. Yeah. 1 star.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah. And here's the thing, like I just said, Godzilla is borderline fantasy. Yes. Okay.
Fantasy, science fiction, a lot of aliens involved.
Yes.
A lot of alien invasions in the Godzilla movies. Godzilla jumping up, celebrating. Okay. Doing drop kick. Okay. Shaking Jet Jaguar's hand. Okay. These movies have a combination of sometimes they can be a little serious.
Yes.
And sometimes they can be really goofy.
Yes.
But yeah. The humans are not what's important. We don't watch for the humans.
No, so,
the humans and the characters are, like you said, the vehicle to take us on this ride with the kaiju.
The most you can ever hope for from a human character in a Godzilla film is that they do not irritate the living shit out of you.
Right.
That's literally the best you can hope for. And aside from the dad, I wasn't crazy about him. His acting was pretty shitty. The humans were stock.
Yeah.
The humans were stock, and they're fine.
Yeah.
Here was my problem.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm curious.
Hype is a killer of that which you love.
Okay.
I was way overhyped for this film.
Okay.
The trailers, they blew my expectations higher than they could ever go.
Which is what trailers do.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And this is why I keep away from trailers whenever I possibly can.
Right.
And why I tend to only watch one or two. I felt like while we had more kaiju and we had more fights,
right,
they were still not willing to commit to focusing in on the monster battles. Now, when you go back and watch the original Godzilla films, it's almost like how Hong Kong action, especially the classic Hong Kong flicks, kung fu movies, would have these beautiful wide shots and all these, and it lets you just absorb the choreography of the fights.
Right.
Okay. It's a lost art these days. It's very hard to come across movies where the people actually want you to see the fights. When you go back and you watch these old movies, it is very rare that in the middle of a battle or at the beginning of a battle or whatever, they don't let you focus on the fighting in the old Toho films. They want you to see what's going on in these battles.
Right.
And what was really, really getting on my nerves and was really disappointing me was that every single time we were getting into a good brawl, back to the humans we went. Back to the humans we went. We went right back to that American style of filmmaking where you can tell this movie was made by a fan, and I'm going to get into some of the spoilers of why you can tell this is made by a fan.
Right.
All the Easter eggs. But it still felt like they were ashamed that they were making a kaiju film, and they didn't trust that the audience was going to be okay with watching monsters duke it out for more than 30 seconds without cutting to a fucking human.
Okay. No, fair enough. And that's not bad. That's not bad. I enjoyed the monster battles in here. I enjoyed the kaiju fights. I was glad there was more kaiju this time around, and I did enjoy the action. The action was epic in scale, but I was pleased. I was happy because, like you said, things could get overhyped.
Yeah.
And I understand why maybe you're a little bit disappointed in the kaiju fights, but I would have to say, around the main battle fight where Godzilla shows up again at the very end and they'd start scrapping, and I was like on the edge of my seat because I was excited.
Yeah.
I was getting a little frustrated that they were cutting to the dad.
Really?
They were cutting to the mom. I was like, that's the only time in the movie I got frustrated though.
Okay. Was
towards the end. But just a little frustrated. It didn't deter from my enjoyment of watching these amazing special effects and amazing soundtrack, amazing sound effects. I was still enjoying what I was watching, but I was waiting for Godzilla to get one really good punch. I was waiting. Now he didn't have to do boxer combination, shuffle.
This all happens in the Toho universe.
Yeah, he didn't have to do all that.
Okay.
But I did, we did get some biting. He ripped some heads off. There was some cool shit now.
Yeah.
There was some cool shit. Mothra stabbing Rodan, impaling Rodan. We got some cool shit.
We did.
Okay? Diehard Godzilla fans out there, you're going to like this movie. You're going to enjoy it, okay? Definitely go out and see it. Even Kaiju movie fans, if you're a Kaiju fan, go out and see it, okay? You're going to get more satisfaction than fucking Pacific Rim Uprising. Okay? But yeah, around that time, I forgave everything up to that point. Because I'm like, okay, they're fighting, we're getting a little bit of a taste, and then at the end, usually with the tradition of majority of a lot of Godzilla films, a lot of the big fighting battles are at the end. But when it got to finally, Millie turns around, or whatever her name, Madison, the character of Madison, played by
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah. She turns around, she smiles at Godzilla, and he shows up, and I was just like, all right, here we go. And they started fighting, and I was enjoying myself. But when it kept cutting to, so I wasn't alone in that. So I wasn't alone, because we wanted to see fucking I wanted to see him grab Ghidorah's neck and crack it,
so you gotta,
stomp.
We're gonna get into it more.
You know,
we're gonna get into it more in our.
They did cut too much to the humans. I know they were trying to get the humans' perspective.
Yeah, but we're missing the point.
Yeah, and the point is to see the brawl.
It might be because again, it's an American audience. Our sentiments and our what we're able to take, we're very different. We don't handle fantasy well over here, and we don't handle ridiculousness for entertainment's sake very well over here.
Well, fantasy we handle well.
Sometimes.
That's why the Harry Potter films are a hit.
Sometimes we do, but this.
But when it comes to giant monsters.
And I don't understand, and I can't for the life of me understand why it's such a difficult concept. It's almost like professional wrestling. If you can handle the ridiculousness of pro wrestling and not totally take it seriously, but let your brain get invested enough in it, it's so much fun under the right circumstances.
These are fantasy mixed with sci-fi.
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually stunned that they even had the balls to attempt and mention that Ghidorah was otherworldly.
Ghidorah is an alien.
I was very surprised because I was like, okay, I'm fine with him being just a Titan.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. But then when Zilla ripped his head off, which was cool.
Yeah,
and it reformed back. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then they basically were talking about, oh shit, he's not from this earth.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they went there.
To pay lip service to the original with the oxygen destroyer, which is what eventually killed Godzilla in '54. The military developed their own oxygen destroyer to kill Ghidorah and Godzilla. And at first it looks like they succeeded in killing Godzilla, but then Ghidorah just flies up and he's like totally fine. And he flies away and, finds his head goes back. And then they're like, why didn't it work on him? Oh, well, because he's not, he's not one of them. And then, he's totally an alien.
Yeah.
Which I'm like,
controlling the other kaiju and all that. Monarch has the worst security ever.
Yeah, they do.
They just let Millie steal the
well, at that point it wasn't Monarch. It was Charles Dance's.
Charles Dance's crew.
Yeah, his people. Yeah, she just managed to sneak out with the Orca device.
The whole time I'm like, why is she there?
Yeah,
just lock her up.
And again, this movie has nitpicks. This movie has Easter eggs in it throughout.
Yeah, again, for the fans.
Again, in the original the 2014, they brought in Kent Watanabe's character, who's named Serizawa, who has this appreciation for the kaiju and Godzilla in particular and whatnot, and that continues here. And for some reason, I guess because I hadn't seen Gojira in a while, when I went and saw 2014 again a couple months ago. Or a month ago, whatever, I didn't notice that his name was Serizawa because it wasn't until I just was in there because I just watched Gojira like 3 days ago, and I was like, oh shit, that's the same name. Okay, so you got that. You've got the twins. They did it. In the Godzilla and Mothra lore, you've got again the fairies who are not always, but mostly played by twins, or at least. In the later movies, they are dressed up to look similar. Even if they're not necessarily twins, they're like similar.
So we had two Zangzi-Yis.
Yeah, and I thought that was really sweet. It was a nice nod that her parent, her mom, who was also a set of twins back in 1961, they were a part of Monarch and all that, which 1961, that was the first Mothra film. And here's the thing, I know it seems like I'm not pleased. I'm sad to say this, but I sincerely believe that this is as good as it's ever going to get for an American Godzilla film. I feel
until Godzilla vs. King Kong comes out.
I don't have a lot of faith in that.
No.
At this point.
Okay.
Only because if they're going to puss out here, what the fuck are they going to do with King Kong and Godzilla? Seriously.
Well, is it a different director?
Yes, it is.
Well, there's hope.
I'm just
well, you
saying,
wanted to talk about the director, him being a fan. You wanted to go into that.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, they threw in a lot of Easter eggs, and we've mentioned a lot of them so far. And I know, again, it seems like I'm not happy, and it's not that. It's just I was overhyped, and the American style of filmmaking has killed what could have been like an amazing 5-star experience, and just kind of tempered it down a little bit. But that's not to say I did not highly enjoy what was there. The score, like you said, Bear McCreary, he took Mothra's theme and he took Godzilla's theme and he just ran with it. We have this fantastic cover of the Blue Oyster Cult song Godzilla, done by Serge, I can't pronounce his last name.
System of a Down.
Right, with this drumming like tribal beat, which is like fucking one of the most badass fucking covers I've ever heard, and I had to buy the score like today before I even saw the movie.
So that's proof right there. You're not supposed to take this seriously.
No, and the end
that
credits,
song's in the fucking movie.
The end credits.
That song.
The end credits.
Go Godzilla!
Yeah.
Woo!
And and again,
supposed to just have fun.
For all the grief that I give 2014 for its being ashamed of it being a Godzilla film, and for this movie cutting away when I felt like it really needed to just settle in and let us watch the battles. Right. In the end, what's important? Did both of these movies capture the spirit of Godzilla? And I think they did.
Yeah.
I think this one skipped along much faster than 2014 did. Like 2014, watching that again, that drags. Yeah. That movie really drags. This movie, for all of its stock kaiju characters and stock plot, I felt like it zipped by really fast. Which is, you have to do it in these kinds of films.
Yeah.
We've seen.
We saw Mothra larva, in 5 minutes?
It was fast.
After 10 minutes?
It was fast.
Opening movie?
And you got to remember that there are Godzilla films out there. Final Wars, 2004, the last hurrah for Toho before they rebooted with Shin Godzilla in 2016. Okay, that's a hell of a gap right there. Godzilla shows up for like a minute at the beginning of Final Wars, doesn't make another appearance for over an hour. Can you just think about that?
Yeah.
How long does that feel when your main attraction isn't even on the damn screen? Okay, so I didn't get any of that from this.
Right.
I was very happy that.
But were the fights better in Final Wars?
Well,
not special effects.
No, that's
not
the thing.
Visual effects.
Here's the problem.
The melee brawls.
Here's the problem for me.
Okay.
No CGI is ever going to trump a man in a rubber suit for me. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The special effects were good though.
They're fine.
Yeah.
You can't go back to men in rubber suits.
No.
Not at least fully. Okay. I'm just saying, maybe motion capture if you need to, but you can't go back. And Americans, we can't handle that. So it's just not going to happen.
Another one of my pet peeves, this is nitpick. Like you brought it up and I mentioned, and I recapped off of it, of cutting away to the humans too much, right?
Yeah.
I was really happy to see Burning Godzilla.
Yeah.
A version of Burning Godzilla in this
Easter
film.
Egg. Yes.
And I was very pleased to see that, but then it was literally over in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
So,
well, at least we saw it.
So you gotta remember, in Godzilla vs. Destroya,
Burning Godzilla is one of my favorites.
Burning Godzilla is in the entire duration of the movie. Yeah. As soon as he gets awoken and something happens and he's like, he goes radioactive. You find out at the very beginning of the film that you see him. He's radioactive. And he's literally in meltdown mode for the entire film. So you see him like glowing and
his eyes are burning. It's one of my favorite designs.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And we'd kind of heard that Burning Godzilla was going to make an appearance here, and we're like, how? And then it's like, okay, they used the thing, nuclear power doesn't kill Godzilla, it gives him energy. So here he gets fucked up from the oxygen destroyer and fighting with Ghidorah, and they throw a nuke at him. That was a really nice scene with New Serizawa.
Watanabe.
Where they have the trope where, we can't just shoot it over to him because we're going to die, and then they have to like walk it over to him pretty much. Oh, well, the nuclear energy is going to kill you, the radiation is going to kill you if the bomb doesn't. And so he volunteers for really no reason other than because he believes in Godzilla, which again, that's a very Toho sentiment.
Right.
That mentality that I believe in Godzilla, very Toho, very classic Godzilla.
And I can see the American audience, or audiences that don't really know a lot about Godzilla, or are fans of the Godzilla films, can look at that concept and be like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And that's why this movie's getting a lot of negative reviews.
It's possible. We haven't bothered reading it, but I can only imagine at this point.
Well, it's usually in the panels.
Yeah.
Like horrible, ridiculous plot story, horrible actors, and all that. It's like these people are not fans.
No, and,
they're not fans of the genre.
And being a fan, I can tell you, yeah, they are. Not all of them, but they tend to be absurd by nature. But that's what makes them fun.
Yeah.
And you've got a radioactive pteranodon, a radioactive lizard,
yes,
a radioactive moth.
And
although in this universe, they were originally Titans to begin with. Godzilla just grew because of the radiation.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was different.
That woke him up.
Right.
That made him grow bigger and whatnot.
Right.
They're already Titans, but in the original univers, the
bomb.
The experiments with all that, the hydrogen and all that.
But this one, Godzilla's got a home. He's got a home. He's got a place to regenerate.
By the way, Atlantis and Megalon confirmed. They have an underwater kingdom, like an abandoned. I'm just saying. It was practically Atlantis underwater, where Godzilla kind of rests.
That was a good scene, though. Of him reaching out and touching, actually being able to pet him before the explosion.
And Godzilla looks at him, and they have like this really brief moment. Mm-hmm. Again, it's the little things that you'd catch if you were balls deep into Godzilla like I've been.
But again, back to my little nitpick of burning Godzilla just showing up and we're done. At that point, I was like, the humans have to rescue Godzilla again. I was just like, dude, one time the humans rescuing and helping re-energize Godzilla and bring him back quicker. That is perfect. That is fine. We had to do it again. The humans had to rescue him again. After Mothra, I really like that scene where after Mothra fights Rodan. We really needed more Mothra, though. We really needed more Mothra. She like shows up at the end, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But nice little kind of fight. You didn't see. They mostly kind of just flew by with her and Rodan. It was all right. We needed more of it. But after she impales Rodan, I do like that scene of, beating Godzilla down, and she's crawling up on him.
Yeah.
And she's just like, fuck you, Ghidra. I'm just gonna spread my wings. Fuck it. Let me do what I do best and sacrifice myself.
For England and the Queen.
For England and the Queen.
Mothra does what Mothra does best.
And then her, like in the films, the previous movies, her energy gets transferred to Godzilla. I thought that was it.
Yeah.
I thought that's all we needed.
Yeah.
Nope. The humans have to save the day again, and Vera Farmiga takes the fucking what was it? The Ark.
The Orca.
The Orca. And
to
distract Ghidra away from Godzilla so he can recharge or whatever.
Because Godzilla's like minutes away from melting down and exploding with all this radiation. And when Mothra dies, like you said, this is straight out of the pages of a Toho
we were not
film.
surprised Mothra died.
No, and we were also not surprised.
We expected it.
We were also not surprised that when she died, her energy flew into Godzilla, and that helped heal him. But in the meantime, Ghidra was still kicking his ass, and so they, distracted him. Blah blah blah. And then when he wakes up, he's officially like burning Godzilla. Now, what I did like, although like you said, I wanted more of it, when he was emitting all that radiation and all that fire energy and fucking up Ghidra one head at a time, you heard Mothra. When he was
shit, I didn't notice that.
When he was expelling the energy.
What?
You could hear Mothra combined.
That's cool.
Yeah, so again, it's little things
I didn't notice that. I was too busy like, burning Godzilla! Ah! It's over, damn it.
One of the things that I wish they had done more of was Ghidorah's heads.
Yeah.
They had personality for a couple of scenes.
Yeah, it was great.
Fucking with each other, like stop fucking around, like just really fun little.
Mothra bounces all three of their heads into the building, and two of them are stuck. Yeah. And the other one's trying to pull the other one out. That was cool, man.
We needed so much more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of just like these little cock teases that we got.
Now, when at the very end, the final shot, which I really enjoyed, of the smoke clears after burning Godzilla does his blast, and you see the Ghidra head moving around. Yeah. And it's just Godzilla's mouth biting the head and finishing his meal and fucking it up. Yeah. The audience reacted to that. And we reacted to that. And why? Because it's fucking cool. It was fucking badass. And it was a little bit of a melee combat type of ending. So I think the audience would have reacted more if we had, I'm not saying Godzilla got to do elbow drop.
Although I wouldn't complain.
But yeah, I love just a little bit more melee. Stop the hug battles. You don't need too many hug battles.
Yeah.
Let's get some scrapping. And they do a little bit of that. It's there.
It is there.
Godzilla does his tail whip. It trips Ghidorah over there.
There was a tail
They're fighting
whip.
underneath the water. It's there. We're spoiled, and we just want more.
Well, again,
That's all.
When you marathon the old Toho, and I'm leaving Shin Godzilla out of this because Shin Godzilla has the least amount of Godzilla you will ever see in any Godzilla film. Worse than 2014. I am not exaggerating.
Yeah.
When you go back,
we might review that. We'll see.
Yeah, when you go back and you watch the films where there are like kaiju and kaiju battles, again, you tend to have these wide shots where you get to just follow the story in the fight.
Yeah.
And you get to see them doing this and that and this and that, and that's part of the beautiful absurdity and the fun.
Yeah.
And we were so close in this one. We were so damn close.
But like you said, this is probably for the American audience.
Yes.
For a studio allowing a guy freedom and a
super fan,
freedom and putting a lot of budget into the filmmaking process and the advertisement process, because look at those damn trailers, watch our reaction videos. It's hopefully it all, I guess in the end it all depends on how well this does.
Yeah, I wish it all
if this is a huge hit, they'll keep making a whole bunch.
And again, I know
that's why Rodan isn't dead.
That's right.
That's why you see a Mothra egg in the credits.
Yeah, Mothra, of course.
Another egg.
That's what Mothra does.
And you see a head. A Ghidra head.
Yeah, Charles Dance's character does not die.
No.
And he
Is that Ghidorah's head from the first fight?
I don't know.
Because he ripped it off and threw it, remember?
Could be any of his heads, any of his mini heads. Yeah. And who knows? Who knows what they'll do with that? And
they don't shy away from Kong versus Godzilla.
No, it's totally...
It's in the movie. Like, towards the end, they have the ancient story drawings from old civilizations showing Kong and Zilla.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna happen. So I'm excited to see it. I know maybe you aren't as much but
no, this is what it's gonna boil down to. From now on, I am tempering my excitement because my overhype of this movie has led to a disappointment that may have been avoided had I not overhyped myself. Okay, listen to what I'm saying.
So it's your fault.
No, listen to what
people
I'm saying.
out there.
No.
You wanted us to watch the other trailers and do more reactions.
The problem is the first trailer was enough.
It was. We were done.
It was enough.
We didn't need to see anymore. We were sold.
It was enough to make me just like.
But we couldn't help it.
Yeah.
You
gotta understand.
In our house, we have 2 shelves devoted to figures.
You've got to understand.
Godzilla figures.
You've got to understand how much I love this franchise.
We enjoyed it when we were children.
Well,
now we became
I
more.
was a late bloomer to the franchise.
Yeah, but we all watched it as kids.
And here's the thing: if marathoning this has taught me anything, it's that the more I see it, the more I love it.
Yeah.
And I have hopes that this will be successful.
Yeah.
Worldwide. I really, truly, truly hope that this movie does well, because more people need to experience the joy and the ridiculousness that is Godzilla. And if you go into this never having seen a Godzilla film before, one of 2 things is going to happen. You're going to walk out saying, this is the dumbest piece of shit I have ever seen. Or you might realize you have an appreciation for the absurd.
Yeah.
And I personally...
It's fun.
I could not imagine...
It's supposed to be fun.
I could not imagine my life never having discovered this. This is that much joy. This brings me that much joy, and I'm not even trying to be hyperbolic here. He just bought me 1962's Godzilla versus King Kong statue. I mean, the figure, yeah. And he has the derp face because Godzilla versus King Kongzilla was derpy looking. He was very derpy looking. And he has little white breath.
Yeah.
Okay? I fucking love this fucking lizard. Okay, yeah. I love this. It's ridiculous. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I love the classics. I gained such an appreciation for the Heisei series.
Yeah.
I discovered another film from the Millennium series, which was kind of a hit and miss series. But
we're gonna get into that when we do our top 10 list for you guys.
And when you watch them closer together, most of them are separate and they don't have anything to do with each other. But some of them actually connect, and it's like, wow, I'm so glad I caught that this time. And if this movie can turn on a couple of people to the just how absurd and fun and great this franchise can be, I will at least be happy with that. I again want to stress, I did not hate this film. I hope that the next time I see it, because
if you don't give it 5 stars, you hate it.
No, I hope that the next time I see it, I'll have been tempered and I'll go into it with a better personality.
I have a feeling she'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it more the second time.
I might enjoy it a lot more the second time. Again, I can't stress enough how it's just so nice to see a fan that made something that you can tell the love is on the screen as much as he could possibly get onto the screen. I appreciate that because
we appreciate the effort.
Because you go back and you watch the 2014, there is no Godzilla music.
No.
There is no Godzilla theme. This used the fucking legitimate 1954 theme, the theme that would later become more Godzilla's theme. It used Mothra's theme, which is like iconic.
Yeah, go see this movie in a theater with really good sound.
Yeah.
You saw it in DFX Atmos. Go see a really good sound.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. We didn't really go talk about the plot that much, really.
There's really not much to talk about. It's your standard Vera's character in the 2014 attacks with Muto and Godzilla. They're in San Francisco, and Godzilla comes raging through, and they lose their son. They have 2 kids. They had the Millie Bobby Brown and the son. And the son, they can't find him at first, but he dies. You don't see anything. You don't see anything, but he dies. And so the parents separate. Vera gets it into her head that when they saw all of this going on, they first got it into their heads that we're gonna do everything we can to stop these titans, and then she starts to realize that no, human beings are the ones that are causing the overpopulation, the pollution, the earth is decaying because of us, so we have to bring the titans back because they once ruled this planet and everything was better. And you see prior cities where Godzilla and the Muto fought, and there's life thriving there. There's like forests and plants and animals and all that. And so she takes her device that she creates to basically call the Titans and like kind of like hey, come over here and fight or whatever. And so she gets in with these eco terrorists. That's Charles Dance's crew.
Charles Dance playing a villain. What?
What? Hey, Alien 3. He did not play a villain, and he died for it.
But everyone hates that movie.
I know, it's sad. Anyway, and
they have other intentions.
Yeah, they don't. It's a standard kaiju plot.
Yeah.
It's very paper thin. It gets you from point A to point B to point Z.
Right.
And you just go with it and wait for the monsters to start fighting. That's what you do in these movies.
But Millie's not pleased with her mother's decision.
Yeah.
Of basically almost wiping out mankind.
Yeah.
And she does her thing to try to help out. And that's basically kind of it, really.
It really is.
It's simple, sweet, it's easy to follow.
You get one branch of the military. You get the main government military who's like, no, we got to kill these things. But then you got the military that are kind of like more monarchs, monarchs people. And they're like, no, we can, get Godzilla. There are good titans and there are bad titans. And we just got to get the good ones to fight the bad ones, blah, blah, blah. But then at the end, Jesus Christ, so Ghidorah gets killed. And I thought it was very much in the spirit of classic Toho, where you see this mammoth titan and you see this spider titan, kind of like the classic. I don't think it's the Kamakura. So I don't remember what it's called.
It looks like it a little, but it's not the same.
But it's not the same. Yeah. It looks more like a Cthulhu spider because it's got like these little drippy things on the.
Rodan shows up.
Rodan shows up. A Muto from the 2014 shows up. And at first you think, oh, we're gonna scrap and all that, but then Godzilla's just kind of looking at them like, what, bitch, what? and Rodan's kind of like, eh. And he bows, and in one of the cheesiest moments, they all start bowing in front of Godzilla, and
Godzilla just roars with his arms out.
Yeah, and then you get a post-credit sequence of headlines where
all this stuff was great. So pay attention. Make sure you read those headlines.
Yeah. They're
stuff is starting to. What do you call it?
The Titans are starting to restore some balance.
Godzilla keeps the Titans in check.
That's right.
Is one of the
That's right.
newspaper panels.
That's right.
Right, but
that's what he does.
The land.
The Titans, their excrement is creating like
a new source of fuel or something. Power.
A new source of fuel.
Yeah.
Their food is like creating superfoods, something like that.
The forests are
the forests are coming back.
Yeah.
You see, they found another, like you said, another Mothra egg.
Yeah. Little things here and there. Which was cracking us up.
Yeah. So there was, there was again very much in the spirit. Of Godzilla, which when it's all said and done, that's what you really want to at least be sure that is there, and luckily it was for me.
Yeah, I think the director succeeded in what he was trying to do. But yeah, I still enjoyed it a lot. Nitpick, of course, the same as your nitpick. More kaiju battles. And showing us the actual battles.
Yeah, the battles were there. We just didn't get to focus on them.
Yeah.
That's what was killing me, is that it was worse. Yeah. It was more egregious than 2014 because you had these well-known Titans, you had these well-known characters. And you can see them scrapping in the background. You see all this crazy shit. It's like, can I look at that, please? Can I see that? I don't give a shit about the dad. He's been horrible this whole fucking movie. Can I see that, please? But again, it's...
Yeah. I was hoping for a little bit of team-up action. I was hoping for Mothra and Godzilla to team up against Ghidorah at least a little bit, but do some tag team maneuvers.
Something they established.
The old movies do a lot of that shit. In the old movies, you get a scene where Rodan and Mothra larva and Godzilla take on Ghidorah.
They all team up against.
They all beat shit out of him.
Ghidorah, and it's glorious.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best things ever in the world of all time in history of mankind.
Stay tuned for our upcoming top 10 video that we'll release for you guys.
Yeah.
But I'm pleased. I still feel satisfied. I should have told you to lower your expectations because I kind of did. Before going into this, I kind of was like, I'm just here to have fun. That's it. I'm just here to be entertained. And so I kind of, my hype from the trailers, I kind of was smart, and I was just like, nah, let me just lower it and let me just go in here and have a good time.
Well, again, I went,
which I did.
I went in with kaiju film mentality, and again, you can either go there.
Now you do like this. Now you do like this better than 2014's, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys.
Yeah. This is much easier to watch, and the characters at least are a little more lively. Characters in 2014 were pretty DOA, like they were just like.
Except for Bryan Cranston,
which was only there for like 15 minutes, and then it's like, oh, bye, Dad. Okay. But no, that was the thing. You either can go in with a kaiju film mentality, and again, it's a very different breed of movie. I am not trying to make excuses for it. It simply is what it is. It is a different breed of franchise and experience in filmmaking, mostly, for the most part. And so you can either go in and be okay with it or not. There's very little room for that. Oh, I'm okay with it. No, it's like, oh wow, this was a lot of fun, or oh my god, never again, Yeah. So I mean, that was the only problem. I went in wanting to have fun, and for the most part, I did. It's just when I know there was more going on that they wouldn't let us see, when there was no reason for it.
Right. I'm glad Vera Farmiga died.
Yeah.
I'm glad that character died.
And that's coming from somebody who really likes that actress.
Come on, she's one of the hottest 70-year-olds ever.
70-year-old?
I'm just kidding.
She's only like 40.
I'm kidding.
She's a hot 40. Good job, woman.
She's a really good actress. So.
Yeah.
But the character she played was
And the thing is, her character, straight out of a Toho. Straight out of a Toho plot. And that's why, again, I had no problem with any of the motivations or plot points or storytelling devices. No problem whatsoever. Even the oxygen destroyer, which was like a passing thing, I saw it as an Easter egg. So I was totally fine with it, even though it was not... didn't really have much. It had something. It was kind of the same thing. But you got to remember, the oxygen destroyer in 54 was like it. It was like this devastating... A man died to keep this from falling into humanity's hands because he was so scarred and traumatized from what he saw in World War II. He knew what mankind would do if they got a hold of this device. And he died for it. He destroyed all the evidence. He died for it. That was the end of the movie. This is just a throwaway. This is literally, oh, we've developed this oxygen destroyer. It's going to kill everything within a 2-mile radius. And oh shit, it didn't work. Well, bye. I didn't care. No, it's fine. It's fun. It's an Easter egg. It's an homage.
Oh, but hearing those theme songs, man. Oh my God. I never thought I would ever hear the classic theme songs done that way, and the big screen
is fantastic.
It's great.
It was really...
So we'll end the video with this. I highly doubt... I'll be very surprised, put it this way. The film has positives and negatives, like all films do, but I'll be very surprised if there's a Godzilla fan out there that hates this movie. I don't see them hating it.
It's always...
And if they hate it, I really like to know why.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to know what their favorite classic movies are. Yeah. If that's the case.
But
and
I think
if you're one of them, I would love to hear. Serious. I'm not even joking. Like I want to hear.
We're curious.
Yeah, because again.
But I think there's enough in here, and enough effort, and enough excitement. Even though we wanted to see a little bit more melee, for Godzilla and Kaiju fans that will have a good time in the theater. I don't think they'll be disappointed in terms of hating the movie. That's just my opinion. But if you did hate it and thought this was a piece of shit, let us know in the comments below.
Here's the addendum to that. Yeah. I want to hear from the people who thought it was a piece of shit but loved the Godzilla franchise. Yes, if you didn't like it, I understand that. But I want to hear from the actual Godzilla fans what their what their reasons were.
But we did still enjoy it, and we highly recommend you guys still go out and see it if you are fans of the genre. And go ahead and rate the film. All right. So I know right now in the video you're going, what the fuck just happened? What happened? Why are we here? Where are we? We teleported to another place. We're not in the car anymore. And it's because we did, in the car, give a rating for Godzilla King of the Monsters. And then I decided not to release the video because I had things to do. I had to work over the weekend, so I didn't get a chance to upload the video right away. And now I'm glad, actually, that we didn't get a chance to upload it right away. Because sometimes when you go in and you get entertained by a film and you kind of fanboy out, which is what I did with Godzilla King of the Monsters, you think you're coming out fresh. You're coming out of the theater fresh, and not everything's marinated yet or sunk in yet of what you really think of the film. You're going off your first impression, right?
See our Suicide Squad review.
Yeah, Justice League. Well, at least for me, Justice League. Yeah. Anyway. So looking back on it, I'm glad we didn't get a chance to upload the video in the car right away with our rating, because over the weekend we have two days to look back and reevaluate what we think of the film again. So now we are changing our rating because we believe that we rated the film a little bit way too high. I mean, it was really high. And looking back at it now, and it's sinking in.
I think more so for you.
More so for me. She's kind of the same. But for me, put it this way. So over the weekend, I looked at the film and evaluated it again. And in the car, as I said earlier, that the panning away, showing the humans during the main event battles of the film didn't really bother me yet until it got to the main event at the end, until that third act. It bothered you right away. Was we already talked about in the car.
Yes.
But reevaluating the film again, I made the mistake of coming home over the weekend and watching the end fight of Kong Skull Island, where King Kong versus the Skull Crawlers, and watching the end fight of Godzilla 2014. And then just for funsies, because she's rewatched all the films. I've kind of been off and on with her, but I haven't seen it in a really long time, so I rewatched Godzilla Tokyo SOS. And this is a fucking badass Godzilla movie. Tons of action. I mean, this is a fucking great movie right here. So I made the mistake of rewatching this. But going back and watching the end fight of Kong Skull Island and the end fight of 2014, I got pissed off. I got angry. And I started to get more frustrated with Godzilla King of the Monsters now. And looking back on it, do I still like the movie? Yes. I still find it entertaining. I still highly recommend that you guys go out there and watch it. And I know with all of you that enjoyed our trailer reactions, I know you're probably disappointed with our, final reaction of the film, but we're always honest, We're not shills or sellouts. We're always honest on our channel. And this movie does deserve, even though it's very entertaining and we highly recommend it, it still deserves some tough love. And now it's hitting me more now. Now I'm going back and looking and just the fucking, it wasn't just the third act for me. Now I'm going back and just analyzing every fight that we had. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was entertainment to be had in this film. Mm-hmm. And with the action, and we do get more Godzilla, we get more Kaiju, but the potential to make it 5 stars was there. Mm-hmm. We were so close, because it wasn't about the plot. It wasn't about the bland characters. It was about the Kaiju battles, and we were close. Mm-hmm. And you kind of have a theory that production possibly, or somebody up here kind of took away the balls and was kind of like, we need to pull back.
I feel like somebody higher up, I don't know if it's a studio thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody was unwilling to let the battles flow the way they should have. Now, obviously the way the scenes and the fights are structured, that's the way they filmed it. I don't think this was a botched editing job per se, because structurally the humans were forced into every single conflict that you see. When Rodan and Ghidorah first go at it, Monarch is right there. They're in Ghidorah's tropical storm. You couldn't take them out and re-edit that film and have it be any other way. Same thing with the final battle. You've got the family and what's left of Monarch down below at the feet of Godzilla and Ghidorah, essentially. And you can't omit them and get a better fight. You literally see these amazing things going on in the background. So structurally, this is how they were designed. And whether or not the director wanted it that way or he was forced to structure it that way, because in America, we just don't seem to be able to have the ability to let fights tell a story. Choreography and fighting, and let the camera just envelop you in what the scene actually is. We don't seem to let that happen, and it's very rare. We are so lucky to have the John Wick franchise and the Mission Impossible franchises out there right now that allow fighting to be a wonder and a spectacle, and sit here and watch this. And for those of you who may think that we are nitpicking and judging it too harshly, I get it. I understand. I wanted to give this movie 5 stars and love this film more than anybody. But I want you to stop. I want you to sit back and really think about what you actually saw versus what was implied. And then I want you to go back and I want you to watch the end and some of the fights of Godzilla versus Mothra 92, Godzilla versus Destroya, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2, Godzilla Tokyo SOS, GMK. I would even say Final Wars, for fuck's sake. Final Wars is one of the dopiest Godzilla films out there, but when you get the fights, and you get to see the fights. And
it's the main event of the movie.
It just feels like
the finale.
It feels like
you gotta show it.
They had the guts to give us so much and then take away so much more. And that's why I'm angry. I couldn't be more happy at the way this film was promoted, the trailers, the hype that it generated, the artwork it's inspired over the world, the different countries releasing different promotional materials.
Visually, the film looks great. The creatures look great.
Hollywood had a premiere, and there was a guy dressed in a flippin' Godzilla outfit with a bow tie. It was glorious. We have to learn Ice
Cube's son.
We have to learn his son's name. Yeah. He has this music video where he's got Godzilla.
The commercial.
Where he's got Godzilla.
Wearing Godzilla chain.
You know.
Godzilla's sitting on the side with him in the car.
It's reaching a wider audience. Yeah. You know, this is a very hard genre to sell for your average Joe because people want to be so logical and rational, and everything has to have a reason and a purpose, and you can't just let things be fantasy and let your mind go and have fun. People want to, have things so staunchly explainable these days, and so Godzilla is
too much exposition.
It's a hard sell what the heart of Godzilla and traditional Godzilla films are. So again, I can't be any more happy that this movie was made. I cannot get enough of the Godzilla cover. The Serge Tankian cover.
Right.
I've listened to that song like nonstop for the past 3 days. I can't even tell you how
can't get it out of our heads.
How amazing that song is. So many good things came out of this, but you studio, legendary Warner, you fucked up and you fucked us over. And the more I thought about it, the angrier I got because it was there.
It was right there.
Everything was there, and you pussed out and. How dare you? And
you get a few snippets.
You do.
A few snippets of what could have been. And a good example is when you have the side angle shot, and you can see both of them. You got Ghidorah and Godzilla right here. And you see Ghidorah use the head. Like the three heads. You go pop, 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 pop. And then you see Godzilla fall down, and he grabs him and he picks him up. Why was that awesome? Because you could fucking see it, okay? Now imagine watching the whole fight like that. Or getting multiple angles, but you're still watching the whole fight.
Imagine...
tell me, all you Godzilla fanboys out there, tell me, if you were in the theater, tell me you wouldn't have jumped up with excitement screaming in the theater if we had a Mothra-Godzilla team up, at least for a little bit, against Ghidorah. Imagine you wouldn't... Come on! Mothra coming down, right cross, hitting Ghidorah's head, while Godzilla's grabbing the other head, choking it out. Tell me if you wouldn't have been going crazier. In the theater. Because there's a lot of fans out there that really love this movie. And that's perfectly fine.
You know what? Listen,
and we really enjoyed it.
No,
but
for anybody...
It was right there.
I know some of you...
It was right there.
Some of you guys that have watched the trailer, I guess you were really excited to hear what we had to say.
Trailer reaction.
And I'm sorry if we've killed your buzz for our reaction, because I know one of the fun things about having discussions with fellow nerdites is the discussion. And I've had discussions with people about a movie that I loved, and their reaction was meh, and it kind of made me sad.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I'm really sorry if we're not giving you the reaction that you had hoped for, because
we weren't assholes to them.
No.
We weren't being dicks.
No.
If they didn't like what we liked, that's fine. It's just a little disappointing.
No.
But it's fine, to each his own.
No, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad so many people enjoyed this, because technically this movie it's not doing as well as they had hoped, like projection-wise, especially overseas. But I think it's okay. It's doing okay in Japan.
Okay.
But it's not a bomb, and that's really important.
Yeah.
This movie did not just bomb like crazy.
I am still happy that this film was made.
Of course.
Because it did give us some cool visuals, some badass visual upgrades of the classic kaiju that I can appreciate. We got the soundtrack.
Oh God.
We got a little bit of snippet of scrapping here and there. But tell me, let's be honest. Be honest with yourself. Seeing Ghidorah and seeing Rodan flying towards each other. Tell me that didn't get you excited when you saw that in the trailer. Just and then when they crash into each other. Look at our trailer reaction video. Now tell me, in the theater, you wanted to see more. Be honest. Be honest. Instead of, cut to the humans in the ship.
Yeah.
Rodan's defeated already. We're done. Now tell me if you wouldn't have enjoyed it more if you saw them fight more, at least a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Show them brawl it out for a little bit before Rodan gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Mothra versus Rodan.
Nothing.
You saw them in the background.
There's nothing there.
They're over there.
All of a sudden, Mothra's getting her ass kicked.
Yeah.
Mothra is stabbed Rodan. Oh, it's over.
Tell me if you enjoyed what you saw, great. But tell me if you wouldn't have enjoyed it more if you saw more.
And again,
be honest with yourself.
And again, you could
Come on.
all of this. It's almost like. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to get a lot of people pissed off if I say that. None of this would have been a problem if we hadn't had better examples of kaiju battles in the past.
Yeah.
Even, like you were saying, Kong, which is a dumb film, but it's fun as hell to watch.
Yeah.
Kong Skull Island. So if you didn't have all of these other examples to pull from the Toho series, this would have been a perfectly fine... If this is how it was always done, it wouldn't have mattered. This would have been fine. But we've had better examples of fights, and again, something just doesn't translate well over here. Where we're afraid to let fighting do the storytelling.
Well, it comes down to showing Godzilla being a badass, and we had maybe a few moments of it when he was burning Godzilla. It was cool, but it was over in a couple of seconds. But remember 2014, grabbing the mouth, pulling it open, and just fire breath, blah, and killing it. Everybody was like, "Holy shit! Godzilla's a fucking badass," and that's why we're here to see that badass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Name that moment in this movie. Name the badass standout Godzilla moment besides the brief burning Godzilla seconds. But I'm talking about melee.
And there were
fighting.
There were potential
name
moments.
that.
There were potential moments.
I like when he bit the Ghidorah head. That was it.
Or when he bit his head off.
That was it, really.
There were moments, but they didn't focus on it. That was the thing about the 2014 was it's literally 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, and it kept going.
Yeah.
This was like okay.
Hug battles. We enjoy hug battles for a while, but we need a little bit more than hug battles. I did like the scene where Ghidorah bit the chemical plant or power plant, charged up, and then fried Godzilla. Like I said, there's snippets.
Yeah.
There's snippets. It's a few moments here and there where you'll be like, okay, that was cool. I like that. Yay.
Yeah.
Good job, movie.
Yeah.
But
I again.
you got to give us more, man. You're teasing us.
Structurally, somebody.
You think somebody pushed out?
I think structurally, the way it was written and filmed, and I don't think necessarily this was, I don't know. I know nothing. But somewhere along the chain of command, somebody thought that it was more important to get the human element involved.
Yeah.
Where that's not what these movies are about.
Ugh.
You have to, there's no excuse to have the humans mingling, intertwined, involved in all of the fights. Yeah, you're gonna get reaction shots in a Godzilla film from the humans. That's the whole point. It's to kind of hit home that
but not when we're following
there's a giant monster
characters
in my city who's about to smash into my house. Yeah, you can get that, but not literally cut in between all the fighting all the time.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm done. I'm done talking about it.
I'll say this. In King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh no.
It's just them two, baby. Okay? It's just them two. If the fights fucking suck in that movie, and if they don't show the fights, I'm talking about showing it, not just hug battle, cut to the other fucking, what are the humans doing over there? What are you guys doing over there? Back to hug battle. And if I'm not entertained, I'm done. I don't want to see America do Godzilla anymore. Don't.
Yeah.
Leave it in Japan. Create your own kaiju type movie, America. Like, just don't do it.
Go do another Cloverfield movie.
Yeah. Well.
I'm just saying. You want to focus on the human aspect of a giant monster in a city.
Right.
Do Cloverfield again.
Right.
Because that's what that was, and I didn't have a problem with that because structurally that made sense.
Cloverfield worked because that was the whole point of the movie. It was supposed to be filmed found footage. It was supposed to be. What if you're filming a party and a kaiju monster invades your city? That's the whole point of Cloverfield. That's why it worked.
Yeah. So.
But.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed the film.
But I'm happy we didn't just rush and upload the video right away.
And look at what we had. We had a year's worth of hype and speculation and excitement to look forward to. Whether it was disappointing for some of us or not, we had a year to think about the fact that we were getting a Godzilla film. And when was the last time we had that? So it hasn't all been bad.
No.
I'm glad this movie's out
there.
And
we still recommend you guys go out and see it if you're a fan of the genre.
I hope this...
Go see it.
I hope this gets people into it again. I hope people can go back and watch the old movies and have fun.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope that that's what can happen from all this.
I enjoyed the infight of Kong Skull Island better than the fights in this film. And we had multiple iconic...
You had the big
classic kaiju in the movie.
No, it wasn't even that. You had Toho's... barring Varen the Unbelievable, because he's their dirty little secret. You had the big four of kaiju.
Yeah.
The big four, okay?
Yep.
You had the OG, you had Rodan, Mothra, all three had their own standalone films, and then you had Ghidorah, the first big baddie of the genre.
Yeah.
I mean...
And this film, it gave you moments.
We were close.
It gave you snippets.
Yep.
But we have to... If we don't give films like this tough love, they're not going to get better. At least the attempt. The attempt is there. But still, we still were entertained by the movie.
Yep.
We will still go out and buy it.
Yes.
And
please give me a steelbook. I'll take a steelbook, please, of a Godzilla film. We don't have a Godzilla steelbook yet.
Yeah.
I would like one, please. Thank you.
We're still going to buy it. We're still going to watch it again, and we're still going to enjoy what we saw.
Yep.
But the potential for greatness. The potential to put this maybe as our favorite Godzilla movie, or at least top 5, was there. And now, they had to snip away the balls.
Both of them just in the trash compactor, in the meat grinder, serving it up to someone in the 1% who likes that sort of thing.
So anyway,
it's fine.
We're glad you guys enjoyed the film. If you loved it, that's awesome. All right, it's awesome because it is a fun movie. It is entertaining. It just should have been so much more. So, fingers crossed for King Kong versus Godzilla. So now we can properly rate the film because it was way too high. So we're gonna re-rate the movie. So remember, on our channel, 3 is average. 3 is an average entertaining experience. So go ahead and give yours first. Out of 5.
3.7.
3.7. There you go. Above average entertaining experience.
They just don't stop neutering my shit.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
I am going to give it... I had to really lower it because it was way too high.
Even mine was.
So I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 3.9 out of 5. So it was almost there, man. It's almost there. So we'd like to leave you with that. We'd like to thank all you guys for watching. You guys rock.
Sorry.
And thanks for... Yeah, again, we apologize. But we have to be honest. This is how it is. It happens. Gotta be honest, so...
Shit happens.
Yeah,
sorry.
Shit happens. We'd like to thank all you guys for watching, though. And sticking with this long video. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.